That's right, free college. And before you burn through your GI Bill, hear me out. While on active duty, I was able to use tuition assistance, or TA, to get my bachelor's degree. And it covered about 3/4 of my master's. The rest of it I had to pay out of pocket along with my doctorate because TA doesn't cover PhDs. There are specifics to TA, like the school you go to has to be accredited and in the Go Army Ed program, or whatever it is they're calling it now. I've been retired 3 years. Some schools specifically have tuition rates for TA. My grad school didn't, which is why I had to cover the last quarter of it myself. And before you ask, I was enlisted. Yes, I know officers have different options, but I didn't have to take off and be active duty on a college campus to get mine done. That said, allow me to share with you one of the biggest kept open secrets to even more free education from military service here in the glorious Republic of Texas: the Hazzlewood Act. Now, the Hazzlewood Act is 150 credit hours of tuition exemption. What's the criteria, you may ask? Well, first, you have to be a Texas resident when you enter military service or designate Texas as your home of record when you're signing the contract. You have to have served in the United States Armed Forces, and this even includes Space Force with their potatoes. Have an honorable discharge or general discharge under honorable conditions. Have served at least 181 days, and that does not count basic and AIT. And you have to bring this with your DD-214. Not be in default on federal student loans, so as long as you're making payments, you're good. And not be using the GI Bill to cover tuition specifically. Now, recently, the Hazzlewood Act even expanded further to allow law, medical, and other professional degree programs, so you could use it all the way up to become a medical doctor, so long as those schools are public Texas schools, but only tuition, so other fees are covered by you, or maybe your GI Bill. So if you're using Hazzlewood to cover tuition, you can use that GI Bill to cover those other fees. Now, why is this such a big deal? Well, you can't use Hazzlewood until you have an honorable discharge with your DD-214. It is possible you enlist, serve your time to meet the criteria, and then go warrant officer. When you go from enlisted to warrant, you break service for a day and are given a DD-214 that will list your separation as honorable before you're commissioned as a warrant, which is your second run in service. And depending on the school you want to go to, they'd have to approve your Hazzlewood use while on active duty. But I have helped some in that situation, and they have gotten it to work before. I have a link to the Texas Veterans Commission below where you can get even more details about the Hazzlewood Act and see if it's right for you. But I wanted to explain this answer fully, and if you have more questions, leave them in the comments below, and I'll be happy to answer.